First up, a huge thank you to Panenka Bar and Grill for supporting the channel. You can find us there before every home game and post game, either celebrating or drowning our sorrows. It's a great premium bar and it's situated less than half a mile from beautiful downtown Bramall Lane.
Also, a huge thank you to Parrot Peel. They are a virtual band who create innovative musical experiences just for you. But you already knew that, didn't you? We've been talking about them for long enough. But please do go to parrotpeel.com and check them out because they are awesome.
Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale. Ale, ale, ale.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Chef United Way. We've been asking for it for weeks and weeks and weeks, haven't we? Get some signings through the door, sign some players. And we have done. We've got two in the door today. Firstly, and I'm going to take a run up at this, Mihail. I smashed this earlier on. When I was just saying it in my head, I did really well. Mihail Polendakov. Surely that's it. That's how it looks. And then straight after came Louis Barry, one that was a little bit easier to say, especially as my firstborn was called Louis. Let's get into this. I've also got Hal on board with me today too, and Hal's the man with all the stats because Mihail Polendakov was not someone that I knew a lot about until yesterday's video, Hal.
Yeah, it's a timely video, wasn't it, about GBE and ESC, and God, it were boring. I was going to say Mihail Polendakov. I don't know.
Oh, for God's sake, go away, go away. No, you're probably right. You're probably right.
I've no idea.
Well, Louis Barry, first of all, let's just quickly talk about him for a second because you've already done a video on him, so we're not going to cover him in too much detail. And you've probably got another Polen. Oh, do you know what? You've got in my head now. I had it down. Mihail, you've got a Mihail video coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, call him MP. Go with that. That's quite nice.
Old MP, eh? Yeah, so Louis Barry, first and foremost, he is, I would say, predominantly a winger, and he's probably going to play as a winger for us, as that's what seems to be the case with Sayers' team, especially in pre-season, because we're playing, strikers out wide. Ryanone was playing there in the first half. We got Tom Cannon playing out on the left in the second half against Rotherham. So I wonder whether he's going to keep going with the left-hand side being someone playing out of position, because we've not seen that all last season, have we, Hal?
Ryanone feels like he could either be a target man or play on the left. And I probably wouldn't have said that last season, but I feel like he actually does have all the attributes to make that work. So that could be exciting. It's more at times when you're attacking, like just three, like maybe a central striker and then two just playing off. And I feel like Barry will be on the left. Left of that. Barry on the left of that with his right foot, cutting inside, probably more natural at that position than any of the other players you've mentioned there. We seem to be signing quite short players. He's 5'7", Barry, great height for a man. And he is one of those players that can take control of the ball, low to the ground, tricky feet. And it's going to be hard to get him off the ball, not because of strength, but because of those tricky feet.
Yeah, he's a very exciting player as well. And it's nice to see us sign exciting players. Like in the past, when we've signed wingers who are exciting, it hasn't really come off for us. But it really does feel like we are going for wingers and we are playing with wingers. So hopefully, I don't think Chris Wilder or Paul Heckingbottom were ever kind of geared up to playing wingers. So I think that's the reason why it's maybe never come off. With a new manager, maybe that's going to, maybe it is going to come off. And he didn't really get much of a chance to manage Louis Barry because he didn't play too many games for Hull City last season. Hopefully he'll be playing a lot more games for us. We don't want to see one of those injuries happen again to Louis. But yeah, he's a very exciting player, one that I'm really, really looking forward to. I think some people have already, talked about negative vibes on old Louis Barry, because say that kind of he doesn't track back. And I don't like to see wingers, like really tricky wingers, tracking back too much, because in the Premier League, you saw Ben Barrett and Diaz playing right wing back at times when we were defending so deeply. And we're not going to be doing that next season. We're not going to be, bringing them back so far backwards. So I want to see him as high up as possible, not particularly tracking back. And I want to see him go at defenders, cause problems, get balls into the box, and shoot on sight because he's got one hell of a shot, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's like Lise Mousset in his prime, West Ham away. He likes to shoot early. He can also shoot from distance, and he has got that ability, like you've said. I mean, you reference the fact that wingers has never really been Wilder and Hecky's thing. I think when Wilder first took over Sheffield United, Harry Chapman came in and he probably did want to play with wingers. We started playing a back four under Wilder, but it didn't go well. Lost some key games and he changed it, famously changed it, and everything fell into place with that back three. So, just to give a little bit of history there for anyone thinking we don't know what we're talking about. And now bringing in a player like Barry, I feel like it gives us an outlet. You can escape. You can get a ball over the top, and he's got that pace, and he can run onto it, and he can take it into the channels, and he can pull it back across into the middle. He does have a good cross on him. He likes getting to the byline and drilling it low. That's something you see time and time again, but he also likes coming in from that left-hand side with his right, cutting in, and then either trying to curl it around the keeper or slot it. And that is always exciting to see. I do feel like this is an exciting player, but he's done it at a much lower level in terms of the defenders he'll be up against. I really do think the jump between the Championship and the Premier League is massive. I think the jump between League One and the Championship is massive. League Two even more. We need to see. And I did get some quotes on the Louis Barry video from Stockport fans. You probably thought they'd all be glowing, but they almost all had the caveat of, will he be able to do it at Championship level? Yeah. I think he will. I personally think he will. I think he'll have no problems, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will. And hopefully he's going to be in a team. Let's be honest, last season we were one of the best teams in the division. And we've lost Vinny Souza. Yes, he's going to be a massive miss. But he did miss quite a few games as well. And we had to play quite a few games without Vinny Souza. So as of right now, obviously we don't know if other players are going to go out. But as of right now, we've got one of the best teams in the division. So we're going to have a lot of the ball. He's going to have a chance to be really creative. And, he wouldn't have had that last season at Hull, and neither would Ruben Sayers because he was at the same place. So I'm just going to bring up on screen somebody saying they've missed the news. So, yeah, we have signed the Bulgarian right back / centre back, Mihail. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Mihail Polendakov. God.
Don't make it harder by making his name longer.
Do you know what it was? When we first signed Anel, I was like, I am never going to be able to say his surname. And then it became really easy. So I'm sure this will become really easy over time.
As proven by you just not saying his surname.
Yeah. Ahmed Hodzic. There you go. Easy. Yeah. However, he does say it slightly different. And you had a run up at 4 or 5 times at it when we spoke to him. And he was still like, yeah, you're close.
He was being polite like people do. Like, obviously, I live in a foreign country, and whenever I try and speak Greek, people are always like, yeah, I can tell you're trying.
Yeah, exactly. Not quite as bad as Noah's Spanish, shall we say.
That was a reference to when we met Jefferson Caceres at Wembley, and Noah had, of Red Half of Sheffield, had consumed a few shandies, and I think his Spanish became completely illegible, completely no ability to understand it. And I speak a fair bit of Spanish, and he did not say any Spanish.
Yeah, fair enough. And the other one, just to confirm, is Louis Barry. We've just been talking about Louis Barry. We've already done a video on the channel on Louis Barry, or Halas, should I say. So go back and check out that one if you want all the information about Louis Barry. Now, shall we move on to the Bulgarian lad, Hal?
Yeah, Mihail Polendakov. That's how I'm saying it. 18 years old. He is potentially, Nick, I'm going to ask you this. Is he for now? Or is he a development signing? Because Sariki, Sam Curtis, Polendakov.
Is he a right back? Or is he centre back?
He's a right back. He's a right back.
I know it says...
He can play centre-back. He did play centre-back in his younger years for the Bulgarian national team, but he is only 1.79 metres. So what's that in feet?
That's a lot smaller than I thought he was.
Right.
Apparently, according to Google AI, 5.8 feet.
No, he's not. It's not that. I think it's about 5'10", but
That's. I'm just saying that's what
I
it
know.
is. That's what it says.
I've ju-
Well,
ju-
5.8 feet
yeah.
will be 5.8 feet. It won't be 5'8". So it's probably 5'10".
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So, but still, for a centre back, probably quite short. Maybe because of that, he's been moved to right back in more recent years.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know why I had in my head that he was going to be a centre back. It's only when I looked him up and realised that he wasn't a centre back and he was a right back. At 18 years old, coming from let's say a league that isn't a prominent league, where you kind of tend to get players from. I think that this is going to be one for the future, definitely. Like you say, Sariki is already going to be streets ahead of him. It says that we've signed him for around £500,000, which is a sizable fee, I would say, for a young lad. I don't tend to know how much you pay for these players, like Sam Curtis, for instance. I can't remember how much we initially paid for him, but I think £500,000 is not too bad for a player from a league that's, you would say, unproven in these lands.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're almost all undisclosed these days. Even Sam Curtis, Transfermarkt has Mihail Polendakov listed as €600,000. So yeah, I mean, £500,000 and a bit of change, maybe 3-year contract. Yep. We shall see if he ends up being second choice, maybe behind Sariki. You do feel like we've needed another right back. Sam Curtis didn't have a great time at Peterborough, had a better time at St Johnstone, but I don't think he's actually ready for United.
Yeah, he's one of them that's either going to go out on loan straight away or he's going to be sort of brought into. I think he would be brought into the youth team, the development squad, given a season, maybe even half a season under his belt, depending on how good he is when he comes in, and then probably loaned out then to maybe a League Two side or a League One side, just depending on how he comes across and how well he does to start off with, because it could be absolutely unreal and he comes in, has a really, really good start, and then they're like, do you know what, within 6 months we should potentially be integrated into the first team, depending on how good he is. But I can't imagine that's going to be the case. Like I said, I think he's going to be into the youth team and then potentially loaned out next season. He's 18 years old, and do you know what, you look at that and you think there's still a fair few years for him to learn his trade, especially in England.
Well, he's only just turned 18 as well. His birthday was in June. So absolutely, this is a burgeoning career. This is very early on. People will be thinking now we've signed 4 players in that ESC slots. Now you only get 4. So we've used all of them and they're all development players. Seemingly none of them are ready for the first team. And if you watch the video that I did on GBE and ESC slots, you do actually have to use these players at some point. You have to do something with them because it's hard to get these slots and you can lose them. This signing means we've now filled all our available ESC slots with development players. To understand ESC, check out my video on this channel. Rumoured signings, Oliver Antman and Jibril Soumare would not take up an ESC spot. More likely, they'd both get the required 15 points plus to qualify for a GBE spot. So it doesn't mean that one or both of those are not going to happen. It probably, I think one of those will happen.
Yeah, I agree. So we're looking at a right back here that's potentially not going to, be available in the first team squad because of reasons that we've just said. So, is this a real sign-in for next season? Potentially not. So I think it's more that we've got to look at Louis Barry, and Louis Barry will be somebody that's going to walk straight into the side, or at least straight into the squad. And we want him to be. I want him to be starting the first game because he excites me, and I feel like times under Chris Wilder, we've not particularly played the exciting players because Wilder always liked players that he could trust. I want to see these players be trusted on the pitch, give them the ball, let them do what they do, let them be creative, let them create things that we've not seen in potentially years. Obviously, we had Iliman and I, and Didze, legend. But we've not had too many players that are very exciting to watch. So let's embrace them. Let's not look at the negativity, the negative sides of these transfers, and let's just enjoy it. Let's just enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. I will say I'm not against Barry being alone because of his injury record. I need to see how he recovers. Only a few games at Hull, then injured. Players like that have that live wire ability, they're more likely to attract fouls. I want to know that he's robust enough. And if he does break down, and really hope he doesn't, we'll be delighted that we've not spent all of our transfer budget. But I genuinely don't want that to happen. I don't think it will. I think he is robust, and he's only had 2 major injuries if you look at his injury record on Transfermarkt. And I'm sure he's absolutely fully fit now and raring to go.
Yeah, how many people were excited about him before going to Hull last season? Like, that excitement's not gone away. He's just been injured. It's just one of those things. And looking at the Leeds team, looking at the Burnley team from last season, they've all got multiple exciting wingers that they can start with and they can bring off the bench. There's Willie Nonto, for instance, didn't even play that much football last season because he was kept out of the team by other incredible wingers. So I want to see us sign multiple wingers. I'll be honest, like, you can't just have 2 wingers and then, hope that they play 40 odd games. These are the positions where someone's going to be, just completely anonymous for 60 minutes and then they might do something incredible. Like, these are these sorts of players. You can't expect them to be incredible week in, week out. So we need to sign more of these sorts of players. I'm excited to see Louis Barre start for Sheffield United and just see how he goes, because like I said earlier, we don't sign too many of these exciting players. So let's be excited about them now we've kind of got them. So looking at these wingers, Hal, that we are bringing in and got, who have we currently got that's actually going to make the first team squad for the first game? Because like you mentioned earlier, we've already filled some of these slots and some are being used right now in the preseason games, some are not. So, where do we sit for the first game against Bristol City?
I mean, I'd have Brooks on the right, Barry on the left, Campbell in the middle. What about you?
I agree, because Andre Brooks was incredible against Rotherham. He just looks like he's ready to go. Like, he looked completely different. And I know it's Rotherham. I know it's League One. I don't want to be disrespectful to Rotherham, but, he's going to be more confident against the teams that, aren't as good as us and aren't in the same league as us. We'll have to see what he's like first game and 5-10 games into the season, because he looked incredible at times last season. And then, sometimes he just kind of went missing and whatnot.
That can happen with young players. Do you know, another thing, I just caveat, you mentioned Leeds, right? I think it's actually important to mention that people will dismiss Polendakov because no one really knows a lot about him. Leeds United have a Bulgarian player in Gruev, and they did the work to find a young player with very similar qualities from what I have heard. And I just think maybe we should just temper a little bit, obviously, excitement when it comes to young players, but also let's not, because I've already seen, I've just had a quick look on social media while you were talking there, some very disparaging comments about this signing. And I think let's just give the lad a chance, because you just never know. If it doesn't work, it's not a huge outlay. Don't panic. If it does work, could be really exciting, and you've got a great deal. None of us knew about Vaspor Bokis before that Sunderland game.
Yeah, I also think that have Sheffield United made the decision to go massively public with this because we have not signed many players, and it's like, let's look like we've signed more, because this certainly doesn't look, as we mentioned earlier, like a signing that's going to go straight into the side. So
that's a great point. I'll tell you why that's a great point, because have you actually read what sufc.co.uk has said about this signing?
Not yet, no.
There's quite an interesting bit where they say paperwork pending.
Right, okay.
So if I get the exact words, Polendakov joining Sheffield United is subject to relevant documentation being approved.
Oh, I don't like that.
Do you feel like that was like, get this out now? Just get this signing out now, and then we'll wait and see what happens to the paperwork.
I don't get why you would do that, though, because Louis Barry is an exciting signing anyway. So I'm always one. I'm a social media man at the end of the day, and I would always rather go sign this player on this day, wait a day, sign this player, as in like release the information. Like they can be signed on the same day, announce the information 2 days later, so you get more sort of
Well, bang for
more
your buck, too.
engagement.
Yeah, but also it's a bit like a David Brent, isn't it? Well, we'll announce 2. The first one didn't happen in the end. They won't remember.
Yeah, good point, good point. But what I actually meant when we were talking about why they kind of announced this one, because for instance, Iliman Ndiaye, when we signed him originally, did anyone know who he was? Like,
No.
he came from France. Oh no, originally he came from France, but he came in and nobody knew who he was. Like,
From
we
Boreham
didn't
Wood.
announce it. Boreham Wood, yeah. We didn't announce it. We didn't announce it in a big way like this. Like, look, we've got this player and he's talking to the camera and, you know, he's got the shirt on. It'll have been really under wraps. Like,
It's a good point.
Sariki's not from Sheffield, so he's been brought in. I think he's Manchester. I've just put myself on the spot there, but
Probably.
Sariki's not from Sheffield.
Peck.
Peck. There's no way that we would have gone big and been like Peck with the shirt. And Peck is a first team player now, so I don't know why they've gone big on this signing. I know you know we're using these slots and stuff, and we've gone big on Nachukwu and you know, Caceres and whatnot. So we've got to go.
Lukaku is whatnot. Yeah.
I was just trying to keep going in my sentence, and you stopped me.
I'm happy to help you stop being able to think. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, thank you. So I suppose they've probably got to release this one because we're using one of those slots.
I think that's all it is. Yeah.
But back in the day, you didn't know about these players until, you know, they became really, really good. So yeah, let's not worry about this one. There's no point in worrying about someone that's potentially not going to be a first team starter next season. And I say worry, I'm like people are moaning about it, like moaning about us signing a young lad.
Hey,
why?
If you're not moaning about signing a young lad, you're moaning about the stripe not being right on the new shirt. You know, some people do love a moan. I would say you're right. Let's wait and see. I have absolutely no concerns. We didn't have ESC slots before where you just couldn't sign players from these countries. So if anything, they're just a bonus. They might work and all of them might not. Imagine they didn't exist. It's the same as if we didn't sign them.
Absolutely. But I'm sure we're going to see some more signings. Like I mentioned earlier, I want to see more wingers. What position do you want to see other than obviously the big Vinny Souza shaped hole that's left in the squad?
Well, that is the only one. That is the only one.
Yep.
I want a defensive midfielder. I'm not too concerned about any other positions. I actually think, like you said at the start, our squad is good.
Striker?
I think that a lot of goals are actually going to come from the team with the way that Sayers is going to play. It's not going to be down to one striker to get 20, 30 goals. Good thing, because Sheffield United haven't had one of them since BT. I feel like One could actually step up this season, and I don't want something to stop his progression. But yeah, maybe. I'm not sure how much money we've actually got, so maybe a striker on loan.
Yeah. Did you just say what you just said?
Well, One might step up this season.
No, since BT. Billy Sharp? Maybe?
I'm talking about at championship level, and I definitely didn't forget Billy Sharp.
No, that's fine. I think we possibly could be in the market for an attacking midfielder as well. We've got some of them. We've obviously lost Ryan Brewster, who was sort of utilised as a right-hand side attacking midfield striker thing. So maybe we'll be looking at maybe even if it's just a squad player that looks quite exciting. Divine, maybe from Spurs.
Yeah,
we're obviously going to be in the market for another centre back as well. At least one more centre back, I think.
Just don't stop the development of Peck and of Arblaster by signing players that aren't better than them. I think you might have listed one or two there that I'm not sure are better. They've got to be better.
No, that's why I said squad players. Yeah, maybe you're right. But you also need those squad players because last season we were down to bare bones at one point. So it's nice to have a slightly bigger squad, especially when you've got parachute payments and new owners, because we're going to get injuries. Every season you get injuries these days. There's so many games coming thick and fast, and the championship is just relentless.
And all those injuries seemingly are to Tom Davies.
Yeah. And Jamie Shackleton as well, which you didn't even mention as one of our right backs.
Of course. Yeah, I keep thinking of him as a central midfielder, but yeah, he can play right back. Absolutely. We've got 4 right backs now. Stop the madness. We don't need any more.
This is one that I really want. Tyrese Dolan. He's still not gone anywhere. I want Tyrese Dolan bad. And happy birthday, Scott. I did see that in the comments further up. So happy birthday. And yeah, I want to see Tyrese Dolan. Is there anyone that you want to see, Hal?
I want to see Brooks play. So I'm hesitant. I really like the balance of our squad at the moment. I really think we're just 2 players, maybe that's it, off being ready to actually win this league.
Yeah, me too. Ant-Man, is he from a kind of real source, would you say, Hal? Because you mentioned him to me. I've not seen that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really hard nowadays. There seem to be much more tight-lipped. There's far less in the knowers. I think that's great. I really don't like transfers getting leaked. So this is fantastic news that we're keeping things a bit stum. Makes our life a little bit harder. But no, I don't know if it's a reliable source. But there are a couple of sources reporting on him. And he's a good player.
Yeah, absolutely. Not one of those that'll get a GBE slot.
Yeah, so he'll get a GBE because he'll qualify, so he doesn't take up an ESC.
I'm still confused. Thank you very much, Ricky, for joining us. Make sure you go and subscribe to Just United. Ricky is a top lad and does completely different content to us. So yeah, go across there and show him lots of love. This is one for you, Hal. Matty Peach has said, I don't think you pronounced the L. So do you want to have a run at that?
Well, Mihail would be without the L. Look, lot of people in Cyprus where I live are called Mihailis. It's very common. It's Michael, isn't it? And Mihail in Bulgarian, I guess, is Michael as well. I don't know. I don't know any Bulgarians to actually ask this question of. So I will probably bow to Matty's greater knowledge. But I'm going to call him Mihail.
Fair enough. Daryl said it looks like another one. We've signed that's an unknown quantity. Jefferson, Caceres showed good signs along with Ukake. What have you made of the AI signings, we're going to call them, at the moment? Because watching Ukake, I thought there was a little bit of potential, but we were playing against Rotherham and I thought their left back was pretty poor. Caceres obviously laid the ball on a plate for Campbell. It wasn't the hardest of passes, but at least he saw it and he didn't overhit it or underhit it. It was perfectly into his path. So there's signs of quality, isn't there?
Yeah, but we need to see them against, no offense, better opposition. I thought the defending in that Rotherham, you're right there. The defending was really poor.
How dare you talk about our I'm going to say something that I probably shouldn't do then. Okay. Our friends across the way, Rotherham. How dare you be so nasty to them?
I know. I just thought they looked really, really bad. Really dreadful, actually. They don't look set up for the season at all. They'll probably be in a relegation scrap. What do I know? But then hard to base any real judgments, on Ukake and Caceres. I need to see a lot more of them because at the moment I've been like you said, averagely impressed. They just did the things I kind of expect footballers to do in those situations.
Yeah, I think the fact that we've not really seen too many wingers in the past few years, it's just nice to see some tricky, quick wingers that can nip in behind. But I'm sure we're going to see that a lot from Louis Barry, who one of these plays is a video about. So let's leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me, Hal. As I mentioned earlier on, Hal is going to be doing an extra video about the Bulgarian, aren't you?
Yep, absolutely, MP. And already a video available and audio podcast about Louis Barry, which I think is fairly comprehensive and gives you everything you need to know about the lad.
Excellent. There you go. Thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. And we'll catch you again very, very soon. Up the Blades.
Olé, olé, olé. Olé,